All right, we're back and talking about one of the most rarest blizzards we have seen in some time in South Dakota. In fact, for many who have lived in South Dakota their whole lifetime, this is a system that they've never seen before. October blizzard's not out of character for South Dakota, but at least for one Texas individual by the name of Jen Zeller. I don't think snow is what you had in mind for October, was it?
You know, when I moved here, I kind of liked the fact that it snowed at my birthday. I was born in October, and in Texas, you don't get snow but maybe twice a year, and it's January or February. So October snows don't really bother me. But a snowing in October and a blizzard in October are two different things.
Yeah, it is two different things. Well, you mentioned, and again, I found your blog courtesy of Twitter, and it was a great blog. It really is. It really grabs you by the heartstrings when you see the photos, which, again, we're not going to share a lot of the photos. I mean, if people know what dead cattle do look like. But, I mean, this is a disaster that folks are going to be counting up, I mean, for weeks. We don't know the extent of this just yet, do we?
No, and people have had a serious trouble getting actually to their cattle because of the fact that it rained first and then it snowed and the ground was never ever frozen. If this had happened when it was colder, you would actually be able to get out like on a horse or on your four-wheeler because the ground would be frozen. But now you have to go out on foot, or if you go out on a horse, you can only go out for so long before your horse is worn out because it's so muddy underneath, so that people are having trouble even getting to their cattle. And short of a four-wheel drive tractor, you're not getting anywhere very fast.
Yeah. Now, Jen, tell me something about, again, this storm has impacted a lot of people. I mean, this is not just one ranch area. It seems like the areas around Butte County, north of Rapid City, maybe some of the hardest hit areas. But this is so widespread, but there are some agencies doing a lot of things to reach out. In fact, you're involved with an organization. You're trying to get more attention to this exact way to help these ranchers out.
Yeah, this morning, a group on Facebook was started called Atlas Blizzard Ranch Relief and Aid. I'm an administrator in that group, and we are going to be working on setting up some funds through some extension agencies and through some of the cattle agencies in Wyoming and South Dakota to help take donations. And we're also planning to do an online auction as well as an actual in-live person benefit, I think is the plan at the moment. And we're not altogether sure at this stage of the game how we're going to divvy up the funds, but the funds will be, handed out according. I don't know if we're going to try and do it by numbers lost or how that's going to work. We're still tossing around ideas. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there is going to be a lot of people, stepping out to help folks out there. But what is probably right now, if you were to say for a lot of these ranchers, what's their greatest need at this point? What would you say?
Oh gosh, that's tough because if they've lost enough cows that they can't pay their bills, what are they going to do? You've lost this year's calf crop, which pays all your bills. And if you've lost the cows that had those calves and those cows were bred, which at this stage in the game, they should be bred, then you not only have lost this year's income, but you've lost next year's income, plus you've lost the asset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I think for them, knowing that they're going to be able to at least get some of that money back would be good. I can't say, what's the most important thing for them right now because there's too much going on.
Yeah. Well, Jen, one of the, big thing here for, this part of the country is obviously this snow is disappearing, but there is still quite a bit of snow out there. Could this, if the snow would stick around, I mean, how do folks even try to recover if they never even find some of these cattle? Perhaps the snow sticks around right into parts of the winter, because we're not that far off.
You'll find them in the spring. They'll be with the way that the cattle stacked up in this particular storm, trying to go with the wind like cattle do.
Yeah.
To seek shelter that way, they're going to be in piles. So come spring when the snow melts, you'll find the remains, but you wouldn't find them until then. I know. There have been several reports of people going up in helicopters and airplanes, and they're searching that way to find the numbers. But there was actually some posts today on Facebook asking for volunteers to go out further west and either ride or take their four-wheelers and help count.
Yeah, it is just a disaster. And again, I come from a family that raises cattle, and I know my uncle always, me being a meteorologist, he has always wanted to know about the weather because it is such a factor to these animals. And it really sounds, at least from your description, that it was the combination of so much water. And then you talked that most importantly, it actually was the wind chill that maybe really was the biggest toll here.
You know, a cow can pretty much survive a -30 wind chill if she's got food and a place to get out of that wind. I mean, we've had some nasty blizzards and some nasty winters since I've lived in South Dakota, and but the difference being, you know, then versus now is it didn't rain beforehand, and the cows had a winter coat, which these cows didn't yet because they're not haired up. It's still been warm. The days haven't gotten too terribly short yet, which for your animals, the days get shorter, their hair gets longer. That's how Mother Nature made it. So you've got that going on. You know, they just weren't equipped to handle the rain and then with the wind and then the snow on top of that. Normally when it blizzards, it's cold enough outside that the snow actually acts as an insulator on that cow's coat. And you'll see if you drive through South Dakota and ever when it's snowed, and you'll see the snow on the horses and the cows' backs, that actually insulates them. This time it didn't get to do that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's just an unfortunate circumstance, you know, all of it happening so early, and all these factors really just compounded together to really make this, I mean, hopefully a once in a lifetime for most folks there. This never occurs again. We appreciate your time, Jen, and we'll pass folks along to your blog, and we appreciate you, and hopefully the outreach that you guys are creating goes a long way.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, that one, I might just take that whole clip and I might just post that to my YouTube and then tweet it.